It is, our speaker this morning is Reverend Carol Willis. She was ordained through the Center of Enlightenment Ministerial Program in 2015. And she has extensive background in spiritual counseling, metaphysics, prayer and meditation practices, and pastoral care. In addition to youth ministry and family ministry, she is an accomplished spiritual teacher, public speaker, and event planner. And there's a couple of events she's getting ready to plan here, so I'm excited about them. She's also has been my mentor through my own ministerial program and getting me to graduate, and even every day. She's someone I look up to as a wonderful person to emulate and learn from. And her classes are just amazing. So if you could please welcome to the podium, Reverend Carol Willis.
Gee, it's hard to live up to that. Holy moly. Okay. Good morning, and thank you for joining me this morning and joining us here to worship and share ideas and meditate and laugh and all of these good things. This morning, I would like to share some ideas on the laws of balance and harmony. Excuse me, and harmony. Can't decide if I should wear my glasses or not wear my glasses. You know, after having cataract surgery, it's like, you know, you try to get adjusted to what you can see far away and what you can see close. And I'm into using readers until I can get my new glasses. But sometimes it's like, how far or how close does the stuff have to get before you can see it, you know? So anyway, the laws of balance and harmony. As I age, I find it strange when visiting the doctor's office, the opening questions are changing. Almost always, the first thing they ask me is, have you fallen in the last 3 months? And that seems to be the lead-in question. And I say no, and I think to myself, how cautious and conscious I am about my steps so I can maintain my upright status and balance. And when my eyesight wasn't good, that was really tricky because I couldn't tell when the pavement wasn't even, especially if it was like blacktop and then it went to cement. It was hard for me to judge that. And so I was extremely cautious. Yeah. So I'm happy to say, because of that, I've had no broken bones. As a matter of fact, I've never had a broken bone in my life. So, and it's not that I was so careful in my young life, because I wasn't. If we think about balance, it's so important on many levels, on the mental, emotional, and physical, as well as the spiritual levels. Those students who recently took the class on the 33 natural laws will be familiar with the definition of law number 26, the law of balance. And for those of you that didn't take the class, I'd like to read the definition to you. Law number 26, the law of balance. This is a very important law. So many people do not lead lives of balance. They become involved in tangents, in fanatic beliefs, and in the process, they miss what could be otherwise producing a much better level of life for them. Physical balance is having nice things, a contented life, things are going well. Mental balance is being free from neurosis and psychosis, being alert and clear thinking and rational. Spiritual balance is not becoming a walking zombie in a daze, losing contact with the earth plane. You are in this dimension to learn the value of focusing your life and developing greater levels of love, which is confirmed by the way you live, not only by the way you speak. Our words betray our consciousness level. What I refer to are those who have intellectual knowledge, but who are bankrupt when it comes to the application. What good does it do to go off into the mountains, into a cave, and meditate for 5 years, as we've heard about for the past 10 to 15 years, meditate on love, and upon returning to society, be unable to cope with people? So balance is very important. You will pay the penalty if you don't maintain balance. So you are only kidding yourself if you violate this important principle. Every spiritual law or natural law or divine law, it's all the same, has a principle that goes with it. The law is how the principle works. So, when we speak about the laws, just know that there is a matching principle. The law is how the principle works. We understand that we are a threefold being. We're spirit, mind, and which includes our emotions, and body. What happens when one area goes off the rails? And we've all been there. We've all been there. No one can say that's never happened to them. And when we go off the rails, we have suffering and pain. We have suffering and pain. And if we're experiencing that in the physical, we know we've gone too far off the rails, We've crashed and burned, really, because now it's really taken a home. It's put roots down in the physical and in our experience. We all experience times when our mind is not centered and focused on spirit. We conjure up all kinds of imaginary scenarios and literally scare ourselves with the possibility of the outcome. And the suffering begins. We have experienced times when our emotions are not centered and focused on spirit. How many sleepless nights have we focused and, how we've tossed and turned, worrying about something that may never happen? Ever been there? Absolutely. And what did that get us? A sleepless night and big bags under our eyes, It didn't add anything to us or the situation, and it did not solve the problem. And it didn't get us what we really wanted. It only takes one thought or emotion that we give enough energy to it that can derail our experience. For example, when I lost the sight in my right eye back in May, and some of you have heard me talk about that, for the entire month of May, I consciously had to take control of my thinking and emotions in order to stay calm and peaceful. You can only imagine what went through my mind. Will I get my sight back? Have I lost my independence? Will I be able to drive again? Will I be able to live alone? How am I going to take care of my dog? Will I be able to go back to work at my part-time job? How am I going to get my personal business done? And on and on and on. And I was just squirrel chasing my mind like crazy. And while I couldn't see, I spent both days sitting in the recliner with the dog in my lap and the TV was on, and I couldn't see the screen, so I just closed my eyes and listened. But my mind was really working. and not in a good way. Finally, one day I decided that's enough. Nothing positive or good is coming out of this mindset that you have here. You're just going farther and farther down the rabbit hole. It's time to come out of this. So nothing's going to change with this particular mindset. And as Cher says in the movie Moonlighting, snap out of it. And that's really, I had to say that to myself, snap out of it. It's important for us to be consciously aware of what we're thinking and feeling, because those two activities create our life and our life's experiences, positive or negative. We remember that what we think and feel finds a home in our body and our experiences. And that doesn't change until we change this and this. So what can we do to change our out of balance experience? We have denials, affirmations, prayer, and meditation to start. And if you're not familiar with denials and affirmations, denials say no, affirmations say yes, and you really need to use them both. And you don't have to be too vehement in your denial. All you have to do is say, no, I no longer want this. Because if you really get into it, you're just adding power to what you're trying to get rid of. So we just easily say, no, I don't want that anymore. It doesn't serve me. This is what I want. And then you can give all the positive energy that you want to the affirmation. And we can reaffirm that in prayer and meditation. Of course, there are other things that we can do also. We can listen to music, we can read spiritual material, we can journal, we can, like you used to do in school, when you got punished, you had to write, I will not do that again 100 times. You can also write out what you want. And if you do that for 30 days, and you do it, how many times? I think it's 25 times. But if you write out your affirmation, you add power to it and you make it concrete because it's in black and white. So that's another thing that you can do. Our challenge is to uproot what is not serving us and embrace what does serve us. We want to realign our awareness, or what we call consciousness, with God. Our conscious mind got off the rails, and now we have to realign it with God mind. And we have to be willing to do that. I can't tell you what kind of energy it took to surrender to the situation and think about it differently. Because I thought, if I surrender, I give up the fight, but that's not true. Surrendering is just saying, God, I'm willing to have something better. So you open the door for something better. Even though we are never separate from God, we have caused a seeming disconnect or separation in consciousness. And we have to repair that in order to establish our balance. So, spiritually, we're never separated from God, but we can separate ourselves in our thinking and our feeling. God never leaves us, but we're just not recognizing it. So when there's balance, there's harmony. The law of harmony, which is law number 33, reads as follows, and I'd like to share that with you also. Let's see, where are my papers here? Okay, law number 33, the law of harmony. Harmony is the most beautiful state of existence there is. Through harmony, there is great peace. Everything goes well for you. There is harmony all around you, peace, contentment, and love. If you have harmony within yourself, with all of your mental bodies, You will have harmony within the things that you possess also, such as your own car, which won't break down as often. Your home will run smoothly and nicely with few problems. When you are in a higher level of harmony, you are aware that you are a thought projection of the universal mind. The universal mind is directing your path, so how could you have problems? Jesus said so many times, "My Father and I are one." It is the most beautiful state. You move with the flow of life, rather than fighting against the flow like many people are doing. You might have experienced this if you swim. It's harder to swim against the current than it is to swim with it. This is why there are many, many meditations on love and harmony. It is the highest state that there is. Love is the best way to harmony, love and beauty. No one law is isolated by itself. They all intermesh and are interrelated. They are working on you now, even as you sit here now and read these words. It's necessary that you do what is necessary to align your life in harmony and balance with all the universal laws. So when you have balance, you will have harmony. And so now I'm going to tell you about some of the things that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday was an amazing day. I just can't get over it. I keep thinking about it. It was so cool, I had to call Reverend Lisa, and then she said, "Well, I'm not having that kind of day." So yesterday, it was so serendipitous. Everywhere I went, something cool happened. And everyone I met I had a very happy interaction with, especially the hairdresser. And that's kind of where it started. I had never met this woman before. But as we got talking, and somehow I was talking about working at the candle factory part-time, and she started asking me questions about it. Come to find out, she knows the owners. And she also asked me if I knew somebody else, and she named the person's husband. It didn't click with me. Then she named the person, and I said, "Oh yeah, I used to work with her husband." So, it just went on from there. And then I found out she used to go to a Unity church, and my background is Unity. We knew a lot of the same ministers and teachers. And so I was asking her about, why she hasn't gone to this church or this church. And her thing was that she wasn't being spiritually fed. So she kind of got sour on church. So I told her about our church here. She wrote down the information, and I said, "But we do this and this." She said, "That doesn't turn me off because I'm into this, 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 and this." I said, "Cool." So her name is Tracy. I hope she didn't come today because they were going up north for the holiday. Then I went off to Staples, and the guy, a cashier I met there, he started telling me his life story. And, I said a few encouraging words to him. And I stopped at a gas station, and some guy was on the phone. He's pacing up and down and yelling into the phone. And he finally got into his truck and he slammed the door. And when he did, I started giggling. And the guy that was at the pump in front of me turned around and he smiled. And the guy pulls off, and I said, "Wow, there's no talking to him." He said, "Yeah, he's a ticking time bomb." So we kind of had a conversation there and just kind of laughed. And I thought, wow, this guy is really off the rails. But it's just, it was just so serendipitous, all the people that I met and had lovely conversations with and fun experiences with. It just really was a different kind of day than I've had in a long time. So all of the 33 natural laws will work for us and produce for us an amazing life if we use them properly. They will serve us well and create an amazing life experience for us and those around us. And you will be like a beacon of light everywhere you go. People will want to be around you. They will want to be like you. You will be like something magic, because they want to be in that sphere of calm and peacefulness and contentment, because you are balanced and in harmony. Not too many places we go where things are calm, peaceful, and in harmony and in balance. So we can bring more of that to the world. And on that note, I thank you for coming this morning and allowing me to share. God bless all of you.